They tried to do it to me. But I always had a way out. I always made sure I had a way out before this went left, because I can feel it coming on when I start getting paranoid, you know. I have to step back and think, like, is this what it is? What can I do to prove to myself that this is what it is? Or am I tripping, you know?
All right, Nicole. Nicole, where are you from originally? Where'd you grow up?
Silsbee, Texas.
Tell me about your family growing up.
I had a pretty dysfunctional family, and I may cry, so just bear with me. My mom was a drug addict. My daddy was too. Never seen him sober. At 8 years old is when it began for me. My stepdaddy, who raised me ever since I was 2, raped me, took my innocence, and it went on for a little while. And I finally told my best friend, and she told my mama. My mama instantly called the law. That was her reaction, you know. And when the law went to the house to pick him up and arrest him, he admitted to doing it. And he went to jail. He got out because he has money. Of course, money talks. But he also had pull in that town with his money. So he kept postponing his court dates because they were offering him 40 years. So my mama, the woman that she was, come up with anything for her benefit. But she was a good woman. She loved hard, you know. After she found out, she still wanted to be with him. And at the time, I didn't understand. But I went along with it because I love my mama. She couldn't do nothing bad to me. I still love her because my mama, you know. I worship the ground she walked on. Do anything for her. So she got back with him. Of course, I couldn't be there, so I had to go to my sister's through CPS. Well, they stayed together for about 3 months and they divorced. Well, within there's 3 months, well, no, I'm lying. Within the next couple of years, because it was 8, yeah, few years, she's scheming, trying to make sure he stays at home so she could make sure she had her fixed. Because it boiled down to that. I mean, my mom was an addict. You know, she OD'd when she died. So up into her whole life, that's all she knew. So she was making sure she was taken care of.
What was her drug?
Pills, opiates. So he kept postponing his court dates, and finally she come up with a plan. She said, "You're going to go over there, and you're going to tell him it was all a lie. You made it up on him." So I did that. But he admitted to it. That didn't work. But bam, she started to scheme again. So she found somebody, Jason Jester. I married him. And me being a minor, married to an adult, it shows the law that I'm experiencing the sex at a young age. And they put half the blame on me. Instead of him getting 40 years in the penitentiary, he only got 10 years probation, but he had to register for the rest of his life. So that's how that went. Then my mama was getting me to she would prostitute me out for a habit, you know. I didn't care. It was my mom, man. I loved her, you know. And how to manipulate men and, you know, how to just use people for what you want. So that's was instilled in me. But the beauty of my mama is, I can't leave this out, she taught me about Jesus Christ. She taught me a lot about him. And that's what got us through, you know. It was wrong, but that's what got us through.
How do you think Jesus would feel about everything that went on in your family?
Oh, she went to heaven. they're forgiven because they're children of God. They believe in repenting. You know? As long as you can recognize that you're doing wrong and you need to change it and ask for it and try to do something for yourself, I feel that God sees that, you know? He sees you trying. He's going to put that other step in and make it work for you.
Were there any effects in your life later on from the sexual abuse?
Yeah. At 14, I tried to kill myself. I hung myself. They got me down. They sent me to Austin State Hospital. I stayed there for 6 months, got my treatment, got on medication, and from there I started going to mental health regularly, taking medication. Still today I am, because I can't get this past me. Every white guy I see his face on them, and it bothers me. And then I have nightmares because he used to come wake me up, fondling me for school while my mom was still sleeping. So I have nightmares about it, and I can't sleep. That still goes on today. I'm dealing with that now. That's it on that one, that I have problems with the mental health. Is there another question?
Are drugs a part of your life?
Oh, yeah. I like to be numb.
Yeah,
I don't like to feel.
When did you pick that up?
8 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
What drugs were you using at 8 years old?
Heroin.
And you figured out that they were effective in getting you to
It numbed me.
bury the
It helped
memory?
me do things that I didn't want to do. You know? I didn't have no feeling in the world. Got me through. But then when I withdrawed off at 9, it was the worst thing in my life. I felt like I was going to die. And then I turned to other drugs. You know, I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to handle the emotions that I'm going through, or I still do it. I don't think it's ever going to go away. You just learn how to control it, you know?
Mm-hmm. What are you using today?
I use crack cocaine. It takes away all my pain.
How do you make money?
I prostitute. That's all I know. It comes easy.
Yeah.
Fast money. Now, I've gotten jobs before. I don't have a problem getting a job. I can't keep it because I got to wait on that check every week when I know I can go out there and get it real quick.
Yeah.
So that's been a problem for me, holding a job. But I keep trying. I'm going to keep trying, you know, till I get it right. And I will. I will. People may not believe in me. My family don't mess with me. But I'm going to get it right one day.
Do you have a bad relationship with your family?
I talk to them, but we don't see eye to eye. We bump heads. I hadn't seen them in years. I call them on the phone. I have 4 kids, but I didn't raise them. I didn't want them to be nothing like me. I didn't want them to get raped. I wanted to break the cycle. I wanted them to have a better life. And they did. Because I made that decision to let my sister raise them, you know? And that's the only thing that keeps me sane today on that subject, is I made a good decision. Mm-hmm. I feel like that made me a mother that I wasn't, you know? And I still deal with that today, too.
Where do you stay now?
On the streets.
You're in a tent?
No, I'm not in a tent. I ain't got that comfortable enough to lay my head down in a tent. I have before.
Do you sleep?
I haven't been asleep.
Tell me about living on Skid Row as a woman.
Skid Row. You really want me to tell you?
Yeah. Give me the dirt.
I'm a paranoid schizophrenic person. But I've learned over the years how to weed out what is real and what's not real. Skid Row is a joke. They got gang stalkers. They run around trying to mess people up in their head and get them out there on the streets where they're walking around screaming where nobody wants to mess with them. And they ain't got nothing. You know, that's funny to them. They don't want to video it and shit. Excuse my French. You know, it's just, they're humans. You know what I mean? Help them. They try to do it to me. But I always had a way out. I always made sure I had a way out before this went left, because I can feel it coming on when I start getting paranoid, you know? I have to step back and think, like, is this what it is? What can I do to prove to myself that this is what it is? Or am I tripping? You know? So, on Skid Row, they follow you around in cars. They'll drive around in cars, because on the host row, that's where I call them tricks. That's where they go. Well, amongst them are the gang stalkers. And they're riding around fast and staring at you, giving you go to hell looks, you know, messing with you. And they do it all night long. All night long.
I suppose that could be your imagination combined
No, because when I go to another...
lack of sleep?
No. When I go to... This is why I'm going to tell you why. When I go to another town, cars follow me. I remember the first 4 digits of their license plate number in case I see it again. So I see it again, the same license plate number. That's legit. There's no making that up. None whatsoever. Now, some of the stuff I be thinking might be a little paranoia, because I'm there. You know? That's how they almost got me the last time, because they knew I was paranoid, because I'm brutally honest. I put it all out there front. Nobody has to guess or wonder or have surprises when it comes to me. I'll tell you. Because I want my story, my testimony, to help the next individual. Because what did I go through all this for if I can't help somebody else? You know? Mm-hmm. That's what matters. That's what makes it. I like to help.
And you, what kind of reaction are you having to hear
crack
cocaine? Because sometimes it's got fentanyl in it.
I find it disrespectful not to speak to somebody when you walk past them, or whatever the case may be. I speak to everybody. Some of them won't even, they give me go to hell looks or won't talk back. Some will talk back. The ones that I've continuously done it with, they'll speak back now. But Skid Row is a struggle.
Yeah,
it is.
What does your typical day look like? What do you do? How do you spend your days?
Trying to survive. Trying to survive.
Is this your lowest point, you think?
No.
It's been worse?
I could leave it all alone right now if I wanted to. I'm choosing not to. I done grew up over the years. I've done it, quit it, done it, quit it. So it's just something, you don't have that craving anymore for it. You can drop it down if you're mentally strong enough. And that's one thing I had to do, was mentally get control of my mind, because I'll go crazy. It'll get the best of me. So I had to learn it. So it can't do that. I got to struggle with my mind, man. Pills help. But I got a liver problem, so now I can't take my pills because they're bad for my liver. So I'm having to do it without medication. You know what I'm saying? So I have these spells where I'm like, is this real? Am I tripping? You know, I have to sit there and go back and forth with myself. It's a struggle every day for me. But what makes me happy and keep going every day, I like to help people. I like to give. You know, I like to take care of them if they need it. If I'm capable, I want to help somebody.
There's a lot of people on Skid Row that like to take.
Like steal from you?
Yeah, well, they just take.
They don't have to steal from me.
Any way they can.
And I've made it known they don't have to steal from me. I'll give you my last. It don't mean nothing to me. None of it does. You know? It's materialistic things. You can't take none of that to heaven with you. Mm-hmm. None of it. And see, they don't know all that, though. They don't have that mentality, you know? Somebody just needs to teach them. If they won't slow down long enough to listen.
What are you afraid of? What do you worry about?
I fear Jesus. Anything else I'm not afraid of. I'm okay with living, and I'm okay with dying. Because I know where I'm going. And that's eternal life.
How did you get introduced to hard drugs at such a young age?
My mama.
Your mom. She was trying to get you to turn tricks at 8 years old?
Yeah.
Oh. Let me ask you one last question. Mm-hmm. Nicole, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
Most important lesson I've learned in my life. Love them anyway. If they're mean to you, you love them anyway. You don't be mean back. You just love them. That's what Jesus would have done. He loved you, you know? He didn't turn his back on you. I love them anyway. Don't care what you do to me. I'm going to go hug you. Show you the love. Maybe that's what you're missing. What you're lacking in your life. It's a hug, you know? That means a lot to somebody, man. The hug. But that's it.
All right, Nicole. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
You're welcome, and I hope whoever hears it, that it might change your life or help you in any way.
When I was designing the first Soft White Underbelly book, I realized that there were so many great portraits that weren't going to make it into that book. They just wouldn't fit. And once I saw how well that first book sold, I knew I'd have to design a second book. This second book is finally ready to ship. Like the first one, this book has a collection of some of the best portraits from Soft White Underbelly, accompanied by a quote from that person's interview. This book features another group of Rebecca portraits, as well as a collection of color images of the Whitaker family, and plenty of others. You can order yours for $125 or $150 for a signed copy at softwhiteunderbelly.org. Again, like the first book, once this book is sold out, I will not be printing more of them. The portraits are what Soft White Underbelly is all about, and these two books contain the best of all that work. Thank you for watching.